All right, I believe that we're feeding through to the folks out there. Let me. You've been warned, Maj Toure. You've been warned. Okay, listen. I'm gonna go to me first here. While we're waiting for confirmation from everyone out there that our audio and all that kind of stuff is going through properly, please, please smash the thumbs up. Share this video with your friends. We've got Maj Toure here the whole 2 hours. He's gonna answer all questions, hopefully here. Also, go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list. That's the best way for you to support us out there. You can, on the website, you guys will be able to get your hands on some Hank Strange patches. You know, Lola's always throwing up deals and things like that. And if you shop through those links, you help support us. So thanks in advance for everyone that does that. If you want to get some t-shirts and things like that, our stuff is at Ballistic Inc. So you can go to that site. There's lots of other shirts there, and you can get the ones specifically designed for us as well in our shop. And there's a whole bunch of other dudes and dudettes up on there that you guys can get stuff from. They're selling backpacks and sunglasses and watches and all other kinds of cool stuff over there. All right. So all of that said, I'm going to actually press the open button here on the show. Let's get it going.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
Boom!
Lifestyle.
Make sure you guys subscribe, smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell so you can be notified. My special guest tonight, live for the whole 2 hours, is Maj Toure. He's here. He knows he has to do jazz hands. Let's do it. I know. We're going to have a serious conversation, but we got to start off with the jazz hands. Boom, there you go. All right, I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. This is episode 622 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Like I said, our guest is Maj Toure. The title is Maj Toure retiring from public life in 2022. Question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation, you know, WTF, all that kind of stuff. Big shout out to Harry's Holsters that's sponsoring the podcast tonight. You can get 10% off from Harry's Holsters by using the code HankStrange. Shout out to Harrison out there. Okay, Maj, what's up?
What's up, Hank? How you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
So y'all know that I don't have a gun in my hand because YouTube watches.
Right.
So I can't show a firearm.
No, you cannot. You cannot.
That's crazy.
This has been a rule on YouTube when YouTube goes when you go live since the beginning of this year.
That's corny.
It is what it is, man. They've gone after us a couple of times here while we were live on air, so it's
so I got a couple guns. I can't, I didn't know of this rule.
No.
Can I? So I'm gonna drink. Am I allowed to drink on YouTube?
Yeah, you could drink. You could smoke.
Yo, when we was in Florida last year, you wouldn't have any of this.
I'm not a big drinker, so.
Listen.
Yeah.
Hey.
What is this? What are you?
This is 100. I don't know if y'all can read that. Can you read the proofing?
The proof. Let's see. 63 points.
No, under that.
Under that? No. Back up a little.
126 proof.
Okay, 126.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is aged 6 years, 4 months, and 21 days.
Wow. Okay.
This Booker's Bourbon. Straight from the crate into the barrel. Booker's Bourbon does not give me a check. I just really like their bourbon.
Huh? What was that, Lola?
That's not the pickle chaser, is it?
No. Lola wants to know if that's the pickle chaser.
Pickle
I don't
chaser?
know. Lola,
No.
don't bring up pickle chasers. What's wrong with you?
It's pickleback.
Pickleback. Whatever. Don't even.
No.
Don't bring it up.
This is a company, Booker Knob Creek. And when he made that company used to make only 3 types of bourbon: Knob Creek, Booker's Bourbon, and Maker's Mark. And so when you're making the proofing to determine what the proofing of a bottle is going to be, they usually add water to it from the barrel.
Okay.
With Booker's, it's taken right from the barrel and put right into the bottle. So the proofing ranges, it just ranges. It's weird. This is a really good drink for people that do drink. And if you're a gun owner, obviously you should drink responsibly. Let me
Right.
say that.
Absolutely.
Right?
So that's your move. By the way, I think E-Rock said he likes your shirt. What's up with the shirt? For everyone who's listening on the podcast, it's the outline of an AR-15, and it's got some like a Hawaiian pattern inside of the outline, and it says "gang."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
what's up
the
with
AR
that?
gang. It's the Boogaloo gang. You
All
know
right.
what I'm saying? They
Nice.
said since I've started wearing floral patterns that I'm a white supremacist. I think now, if you if you a part of the Boogaloo, somehow media has made it that you're like a white supremacist. So who
Yeah,
knew?
the ATF will also monitor you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I be in Hawaii a lot, so that's just what that is.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. That means Magnum PI was a boot boy before there were boot boys. John Crump says, "What's up to you?"
Hey, what's up, John? I forgot. Everybody, they snatched John Crump's Facebook page.
Yeah, crazy.
Everybody go get with his YouTube. Support, follow. He's doing a lot of good work over there with GOA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. I forgot, John. My bad. Blame it on my trash memory, not my heart.
Yeah. I hope everyone's hearing us good, right? So listen, what happened with John? I think yesterday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I think maybe somewhere else, they kicked off a lot of people. A lot of people got canceled. Yesterday. So I know there were some people, they said they were doing it because they were members of QAnon or something like that, so
The truth is, I'm actually Q. It's actually me. I'm
right.
joking.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no. It's
You're
absolutely
doing
not.
everything within your powers to get us canceled tonight, I see. So you obviously don't want to talk about this stuff. This is all subliminal. Derek Rogers says that shirt. Where can people get that shirt from?
This is from Savage Tacticians.
Savage Tacticians.
Yeah.
Okay, so are they on IG?
Yeah, I think that's their IG page, savage.tacticians, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, let me see. I'll look them up. Savage Tacticians. I'll see if I can find them out there. This looks like them, and you're cool with those guys?
I just was already buying their shirts. I actually sent them a DM today.
Mm-hmm.
I said on one of my posts on my live earlier this morning, some people asked me where the shirt was from, and I told them I was like, they should just give me some stuff that I could rock. And they commented and was like, yo, we should. And so I shot them a message. So hopefully they'll send me some more fly shit. But I was they didn't send me this. This hat is from them as well. I bought this. They didn't give it to me.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Any companies or guys that got some fly shit that you want me to wear, I'll wear it. Send it to me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. Cool. So just for everyone who wants to know, Savage Tacticians, tell them you found out about them here on Hank Strange and from Maj. I think you were wearing that in your live that you did, driving around Philly.
Yep. Yeah. I call those drive-bys.
Drive-bys, right.
On my IGTV list,
Mm-hmm.
called drive-bys. As I'm driving, getting coffee, just thoughts,
Yeah. So, and then if you guys aren't following Maj on IG, just, I don't know what's up with you. I know there's people who don't have IG and all that kind of stuff. Where's the best place for them to go? Because there's a couple of Maj Toures on all social media, and I'm guessing they're not all you.
No, they fake. Somebody had my name on Parler before I could even get to Parler.
Yeah, I saw that. And he has Maj Toure, so you have the real Maj Toure on Parler. And then I saw that guy, he has Maj Toure, but he put in there not Maj Toure.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
that means the job of the work that we're doing, we've got to critical mass when people are stealing your name. That's a good thing. That's a good problem. That's a first world problem. That means we're becoming, as much as some portions of media will try to pretend like our work ain't, there, or they won't give me the blue check or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. This speaks to the popularity of it. So, well, like I said years ago, we're going to make gun ownership in the hood popular culture. Owning a gun is pop culture now. Mm-hmm. I want pop stars like Katy Perry and Rihanna. We saw Kevin Hart over at Tehran Tactical last week.
Right.
I told y'all this is what we was going to do, and this is what has to be to be done. The culture shift about safe and responsible, cool gun shooting, gun ownership, plinking, and all of that. That's all in alignment with our mission. So I like that there's so many people, but if anyone wants to contact the actual me, my Twitter's Maj Toure, Majtoure. If you want to chop it up on Facebook, my regular Facebook page has it's reached the limit of friends, but official Black Guns Matter _ Maj Toure. Follow me there. Follow that page. There's no friend limits, and I'll run that page as well.
Okay, all right. So official Black Guns Matter with Maj Toure in it. Yeah. So there you go.
Official Black Guns Matter _ Maj Toure.
Okay, underscore. Right.
Yep.
And Derek Rogers wants to know when you're coming back to Chicago.
So I'm going to go over to. I got the Solutionary Summit on September the 12th. I have Dallas this weekend. And I have sometime in between there, I have to get to Portland. The shit that we're seeing in Portland right now is insane. And local law enforcement and local government has pretty much abandoned the people. So I want to try to get back to Chicago after, because Portland is something else right now. And so we're going to hit Portland because people are physically getting attacked.
Yeah.
Chicago, there's shootings, but a lot of that's gang related, turf related, drug related. So I think that if you in the street life, you know what come with it. So that takes less of a precedent for me than regular people that's just trying to walk through downtown Portland that don't know how to defend themselves. So we're going to take this RV over there, and we're going to post up for a while and give people some training. Then right after Portland, we're going to try to shoot back to Chicago.
Right. I think I saw recently the thing where there was a guy. I guess from what I'm seeing, the Black Lives Matter guys there were robbing a trans woman, right? And this guy tried to stop that, and then he tried to get away from them, and then they beat him up, and there's video of this guy just kicking him right in the face.
That dude's in a coma now. I don't know if last I heard, he's in a coma.
Yeah. So, yes, things are getting crazy over there. Just quickly, so we're gonna get into everything here with Maj, but I know you guys have questions. So let me get this one out for Night Train. He says, Hank, please inquire with Maj if he's specifically about Black Guns Matter only and has nothing to do with that organization, Black Lives Matter, BLM. So
no, Black Guns Matter is my organization. I do support the slogan and the original reasoning for why Black Lives Matter was created. There are serious social issues and social injustices in America. That's anybody that disagrees with that, like, come on, bro. Now, is it to the extent that mass media is making it out to be? Absolutely not. However, I think Colin Kaepernick did a very good job the first time that he explained his reason for taking a knee, right? And I'll say why I'm saying that. He explained very thoroughly in one longer interview in the beginning, this isn't to disrespect the flag. I have a combat vet who told me that this was okay to bring attention to injustice in the community. I thought that languaging in that interview was spot on. What happened after that was he didn't keep repeating the message. And so his message was co-opted. Then the argument stopped being about tyranny, and that's tyranny towards Black Americans, white Americans, Haitian Americans, whatever, right? The conversation stopped being about that, and it was about, oh, you hate the flag. He didn't do any justice by like wearing the pig socks and all of that. His messaging was co-opted. That is what happened to Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter Incorporated, the people that got $700 million worth of Democratic donations that they damn near gave to single-handedly to the Democratic Party. I am not in alignment with that structure. There are people on the grassroots level that identify as Black Lives Matter that are trying to do the right thing. So, for example, you had a chapter of BLM in Virginia. They literally have denounced rioting and looting.
BLM 757. Rhonda Mary was out there. I think she was out there whenever that happened. We were talking about it yesterday, actually.
Yeah. Exactly. And some people say, well, no, I was having a conversation with Brandon Strzok a few days ago in Green Bay, and he was like, well, they should just change their name. And I'm like, well, you can't really say that. The NRA has a weird history with Black America, right? Good and bad. But would you ask the NRA to change their name? And so another example that I give is most law enforcement officers are not in alignment with the same concepts that the brass or the police unions want them to follow. They don't like it, right? So you can be on, the rank and file and be totally in disagreement with the people that are over your thing. So I want to be clear about that. I do think that, obviously, Black Lives Matter. I think that media, they co-opted it. They paid a certain group of people off, and the organizational structure is Marxist. It is communist. It is socialist. It wants to destroy the nuclear.
Do we have to say Black Lives Matter? Pause.
What you mean?
I'm just saying, like to differentiate,
like
right?
Black Lives Matter _, or asterisk.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously there's people. I saw you talking about this on the live. That's why there's a movement and there's a statement, right?
Correct.
And is the statement bad, or is the movement bad? Is this faction of the movement bad? Is, if you say it this way, is it bad? Like, how complicated can this get?
It's beautiful because they picked the right name. It's the perfect name. If you say, I don't like Black Lives Matter, it's easy to paint you as a racist. When you should be saying, I don't like what the current leadership on that website is promoting because it's in opposition to American traditional values. Right. I also do think that obviously Black American lives matter. That's an easy way of explaining that. And that's something that we have to do as quote unquote right-leaning, or if you're conservative. I can get away with more shit in that regard because I'm a Black man, right? If you're one of our white brothers and sisters, you need to explain that better. Because what happens is they picked a good name, and if you say fuck Black Lives Matter, you can be packaged as the racist, and that's not. We know that that's not what you're saying, right. But the general public may not know that. So
or a sellout, depending, or whatever words or names they want to throw up on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, I am in alignment with the sentiment. I am in alignment with the slogan. I am in alignment with the concept of why this organization was even created. During that time, 4 or 5 years ago, it seemed like we couldn't get through a week without TV showing us an unarmed Black man getting shot. And my white homies should feel the same way, because double whammy, they wasn't even putting y'all homicides on TV. They wasn't even bringing no attention to it, So I am in alignment with that. That speaks to tyranny. That speaks to, I don't care what the ethnicity of any human is that you're killing as law enforcement unjustifiably. That is tyranny. So I do stand in alignment with the reason why that organization was created by the original founders, the same people that started the Ferguson movement.
Right. So just by the way, everyone out there, smash the thumbs ups. I'm just telling you guys, I know there's a lot of people in here. We appreciate that. That helps float us up and all that kind of stuff. So when folks counter that, right? Obviously, the counter statement for that is all lives matter.
No,
right?
That's not the counter statement.
But that's
the
what
antagonizing statement.
Okay, so people feel like if you say all lives matter now, that's racist for you to say that all lives matter.
It's just dumb to say. It's just dumb, and it's contrary.
Okay.
Right? It's like, okay, let's say we're having a breast cancer rally. And everybody, I got a pink BGM shirt on and whatever, right? And then, you guys are doing that, the breast cancer rally. And I come up and I say, well, what about lung cancer? Lung cancer kills more people than breast cancer annually. You clearly don't care about lungs. All cancers matter. It's contradictory, and it's in a time when, right now at this moment, let's create a separate, cancer rally. Fuck cancer, those ribbons. You know what I mean? Because you say fuck cancer doesn't mean you're taking away from, breast cancer or lung cancer or thyroid cancer or whatever, right? To say that in relation to or in opposition to, it's not a complimentary statement. It's an antagonistic statement. Okay. And the people that are saying it are trying to, in a weird way, try to justify, well, you guys only died this much, so, it's not that deep. That's like when people say silly shit like, police brutality is a myth. I've been beat up by the cops twice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a myth. Like, the unicorn and the Loch Ness Monster both showed up to beat me up. You know what I'm saying? So, does it happen as often as media says it? No, but it happens. And it's a problem, you know? And so when people say things like, all lives matter, it's contrarian. You weren't saying these things. You didn't say lives matter before this. It's like almost like the antithesis, as if you're poking fun at it. The irony of people making that statement is, when black people, especially with media highlighting it, you know, Tamir Rice happened, Eric Garner happened, George Floyd happened, whatever their backstory happened, media highlighted that, and black people in America clearly have a unique history in America. Is it as bad as it was? Anyone that says it still is, they're lying. Duh, it's not as bad. However, it's still bad, right? So when black people are highlighting something like, hey, man, this is an injustice that we want in our communities and we want to address, it's almost like you don't have the right to say that. You know, well, everybody's lives matter, so don't complain about tyranny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I think in some ways it's a counter statement, right, to the statement. It's all language at the end of the day, right? Intention is a big part of what goes behind the language. I think there's lots of people, you know, out of that became like Blue Lives Matter, you know, and now we're getting into the color of lives. You know, like what do I consider myself? Am I a red life? You know, what like we're all getting into that, right? Do white lives matter? Is that a terrible thing to say? You know, to me, sometimes, like, so for example, if we have these kind of conversations and I put it out there, there's always someone who's like, I don't do race. Once we get on the subject of race, I'm out. Right? So, and then what that means to me is like, hey, it's not a thing. Right?
It's a thing.
It's not a thing. Some
people don't care to talk about it.
Yeah,
you can't. Listen, let's be clear. America, our nation that we love, if you immigrated here, if you were born and raised here, you benefit from America. You benefit from the slave trade. I benefit from the slave trade, right? I'm talking to everyone right now on an iPhone. That's a sweatshop phone. So we're not going to pretend like we don't have benefits.
So you're not saying you're not talking about a past slave trade. You're talking about a current slave trade.
I'm talking about both.
Okay.
The concept of me living here, benefiting from what my ancestors fought for. If I was brought here, if my elders were brought here, right? Because I might be Choctaw. I might have been one of the people that was already here before. You know.
Have Columbus you ever done a genetic test?
Hell no, I'm not giving them that type of shit. No. Listen. My history was stolen, and it's something. It gave me a beautiful position. I want to say my elders' history was stolen. Okay. Right. But is that to hold on? Are you trying to hold on to the romance?
Outside of not wanting the government to know your genetics, are you trying to hold on to the romance of, like, you know, maybe you were like a prince stolen out of Africa or something like that?
No, I'm a king in America now.
Okay.
So, like, I go wherever I want. Right. I do whatever I want.
But you have no interest in knowing exactly, like, you know, hey, what's my genetic makeup? What part of Africa did I come out from? Okay.
I don't trust them tests. I trust them tests as far as I can throw them. Okay. You know what I'm saying? What I do know is all of this stuff is names, is language, it's based on geography, it's based on, like, nature. Like, okay, if I move to South Africa, right? And I'm in the sun, or I move somewhere where there's a lot of sun, my genetics will change over time. My children may be darker because I would be in the sun more, you know? And then over time, that's just based on climate.
It's gonna be a long time.
It could be. Yeah. Cool. Time brought us here. Time gonna take us all away.
Yeah. I mean, a long time.
These terms that we're calling, right? I'm American. It's associated with a landmass of where you were born and the language and culture that you participate in. If I literally, it doesn't mean so. It means so little that if I go over to and move to South Africa, find a wife in South Africa, have a baby, and that one move, that baby that's born in South Africa, now we call this baby South African. So it's these terms that we identify with, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that in the bigger scheme of things, there's a race, a human race. There's a more melanated N and a not so melanated N. You can call yourself whatever you want. You know, transgender people, like my transgender cousin, you know, used to be called one name, now identifies as a different name. And I'm going to respect that name change. You know what I'm saying? My point in saying that is the concept of people that are still in the construct of race. If one group of people that we as in America identify as African American have been seen to have a tumultuous relationship with government, with America in general, and we have redlining, segregation. We're not talking about 100, 200 years ago. These are very, you know, relatively modern things.
Yeah, I mean, America is a relatively young nation.
Right. Yeah. Like there's the pyramids are 10,000 years old. We only a few hundred years old. You know what I mean?
Chinese culture is like what, 40, 50,000 years old? Just,
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. We can go from the Ming Dynasty all the way to whenever.
Right.
My point in saying that is we got this new nation that did, we as a nation, it's on our flag, it's on our record, we dealt in racism. We did. Even when there were people around saying like, nah, bro, I can't do that. Thomas Paine was the perfect example. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. That's just not cool, right? So you have, fast forward a bit, you have people expressing something, and no other group of people in America can say they've suffered that same level at a certain point, your lineage, right? So with that being the case, some of that remains. When people are bringing up some of those issues and want to highlight it and then potentially
can Native American Indians say that?
Can they say what?
Can they say that they? I mean, I don't know about levels here, right? But can they say that they suffered through something in America?
Absolutely. Okay. That's still a melanated being. And before
so wait, so just one second, just for the benefit of the folks out there, because Lola asked me about this the other day, because I know like when you come on, if Kevin Dixie's here, you know, there's like it's a buzzword now, melanated. So do you want to like explain that to some people out there that are wondering why? Because we're talking about words. This is a conversation right now at this moment in this chat about words. So what's up? What does that word mean to you?
Melanin is a chemical that is in every human's body to varying degrees. In your skin, melanin shows up and it charges when it's connected with sunlight. It's what charges and activates, and then you start to become browner. You get a tan, right? Melanin is a neurotransmitter. It secretes from your pineal gland or your third eye, and that neurotransmitter sends signals from your brain, right, to your twitch fibers and your muscle endings a lot faster. That's why a lot of times they say, well, black people, y'all are just naturally good at sports, because there's more melanin content, sends those signals from the brain to the muscles to the twitch fibers a lot faster, along with digestion. It's in all of the, it's in a lot of the organs. That's why organs and organ harvesting and trafficking is a big deal, especially in more countries of color. Okay. Do white people have melanin? Yes. Is their pineal gland a little bit more calcified than other people?
So is this like a word of pride or something like that?
It's not a word of pride. It's a word of science. Okay. It's just science. That's all it is. There's a great book that everybody should check out called Melanin: The Chemical Key to Greatness. Right. So
is there a difference? Is there a difference of melanated and non-melanated?
Yeah, melanated can mean all of the people that have a lot of darker hues. Non-melanated, meaning skin tone, don't have as much dark hue. Okay. So you could be Native American or indigenous to this place that we call America, i.e. Turtle Island, and you could still be melanated. So for example, up until I forget the exact year, so don't quote me too hard, but there was a time where indigenous people were also classified as Negroes, Negro, black, black Americans. Okay. That's where the whole theory of, like, you have Indian in your family. In America, a lot of people say that. We thinking A lot of people now think they meant Indian, like over in India. They mean native to this land, Indian.
Right. Yeah,
Or
I never
this,
thought. Yeah, I never thought Indian over like East
Right.
Asian. I'm East Asian.
Right.
I never thought that when I heard that. I always thought it was Native American.
Right.
You know, although like
So
if you know, I know like if you study history, Native Americans owned a lot of African slaves. You know,
native.
and
So
they owned
a lot
slaves in general. They had owned each other as slaves.
natives to this land that we call America. Um, there's a great book called "They Came Before Columbus" by Ivan Van Sertima. Um, like this is what always blows my mind. People make it seem like only white people only did stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a form of bigotry.
Mm-hmm.
If I get too powerful, I might create slaves. I wouldn't, but my point there is to say that someone just because they're melanated didn't have the capacity to keep captives. That's not true. Now, did the Arabs that infiltrated Africa first? Did that, along with the Europeans,
Mm-hmm.
did they create a type of very, very brutal slavery that did not exist prior to? Absolutely. Chattel slavery was some of the most dehumanizing shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
However, that doesn't mean that black people in America didn't own humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
That indentured servitude
Right.
across the globe wasn't a thing before pre-America.
Okay,
My point in saying this,
hold on. I'm not trying to. So the word chattel slavery, I'm going to assume you're referring to slavery where the people owned are looked at as cattle,
yeah,
right? And their
it's the
children and their
transatlantic.
children's children are property, just like, you know, I've owned goats and stuff like that. And so you're saying that prior to the invention of that, there was no kind of slavery like that?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
saying slavery existed in different types of forms.
Mm-hmm.
Chattel slavery, the MAFA, M-A-A-F-A,
Mm-hmm.
during the transatlantic slave trade was the most brutal, and because slavery existed, indentured servitude was a form of slavery. But that don't mean like I'm gonna beat the shit out of you sun up to sundown, create
Right.
torture devices specifically for your entire people based on the concept of race.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think indentured servitude, so like on my mom's side, my mom's Indian, and they came into the Caribbean as indentured servants, which means, and they came to the Caribbean after Africans, right? After England or Europe in general banned slavery, right? So they came there, in the case of my mom and my ancestors on that side, because the British were basically exterminating certain races of Indians in India. You know, like my mom's descendant of the Madrasi Indians, and a lot of them were thuggies, where the word thug comes from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they decided they were going to get rid of the thuggies because these were basically like roving bands of, you know, they would
The undesirable.
well, they would like meet up with you and be real nice with you and all that kind of stuff on the road, and then they would set you up and basically kill you. This is like what the history is of it, that the British said, right? And so they decided to deal with this by completely eliminating these people, you know, and anyone they found like that, they killed. A lot of people left India for that and other reasons. They came to the Caribbean as indentured servants. So for like 7 years, you work for this person on a plantation. After that time, you know, you not only get paid, you get land or something like that. You can go off and do whatever you want. Versus on my dad's side, his ancestors came there just as straight up slaves.
And that's what I'm saying. And so that unique, you know, history,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it's layers to it, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
When people are now, because it don't just like Emancipation, you know, Proclamation, and now everything's perfect again.
Mm-hmm.
You got to fast forward up until like the 1920s when black people was thriving all around the country, and we dealt with, and I say we, meaning my lineage. I wasn't alive.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
right? But historically, this is American history. This is a part of American history.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to that point where people are now, you know, maneuvering and still being attacked, the civil rights movement was bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
all those different things.
Right.
Then you fast forward to people saying, hey man, we kind of still getting beat up by police, you know, Rodney King. Hey man, you know, we still getting killed by police, whatever. Amadou Diallo,
Mm-hmm.
pick one,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with those conditions that are there that people need to bring attention to, and that's what Black Lives Matter was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's a tough.
What it's turned into is some other shit that I can't really rock with.
Yeah, it's a tough deal. It's a tough deal. A lot of things in life are perspective, and if you didn't experience something, or you didn't experience it from that perspective, it's tough for you to deal with it, right? So, like, I can understand where you're coming from, because regardless of whatever happened to me anywhere else in the world, when I came to live in America, I can't escape who I am on the outside, right? And so I had to deal with a lot of different things. So that's, to me, it's not something that I can argue, because I had to live with that and deal with that. There's some people who never lived with that, or from their point of view, there's some people who dealt with things like that from the opposite side. So, like, I went to school, I grew up in Far Rockaway, New York, and at that time, it was mostly black. A lot of people from the Caribbean, Africa, etc., and there were very few white kids going to school with me. Those white kids would get their ass kicked on a regular basis by black kids. I mean, I remember me and my friends would get into fights all the time because, we had friends that were white, and we didn't appreciate people trying to jump them and do all that kind of stuff, right?
That's my friend. Why are you trying to beat up my friend?
Yeah, and for me personally, I went through a lot of that, like being, someone who's mixed and all that kind of stuff. I think when I came here to America, I had a British accent, so I just, I fell into categories, let's put it that way, right? So I think a lot of this is experience. Some people just don't see it, or want to pretend it doesn't exist. Some people see it from this point of view. Some people see it from that point of view. Ultimately, to me, like, when people tell me, you know what, we're having this conversation, I'm out. What that usually says to me, so you're close to this.
Right.
When for me, I'm not close to anything. I think that's like you. I've never had a conversation with you where you said, dude, I'm not talking about that.
I can't talk about the race relations in America.
Yeah, we could talk about it. This is how we learn. We can, like, how can I say, simulate someone else's experience. Just listen to the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then understand and say, no, I can see where they're coming from. And that's the position that I take with BLM.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to go, I know officers that, I'll never be a rat. I'll never tell. Like, I'm not doing anything unlawful at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a rat, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So generally, I limit my interaction with law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm at the range, so it's not a big deal, but that's part of my conditioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that being the case, I know officers that put that uniform on to really help the community. To, like, really, man, I'm gonna protect the people from the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really gonna do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
With that being the case, those guys feel like they're hemmed up by their sergeant or their captain or their precinct director and things of that nature. And they like, yo, man, they trying to get me to do this bullshit. I'm not out here to, like...
Well, and they have rats within their thing too, right? Because if they're not going along with everyone else is doing, and then they're a rat or they're a traitor or they're crossing
and that's what I'm saying. They hate it. They hate the concept of rats. Now, there's a similarity. So, for example, teachers. There's some teachers that want to just teach. I just want to empower these young minds.
Mm-hmm.
But they're restricted by the curriculum of the school district and the superintendent and their principal and that system. But they really, really want to do the job that they signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with some members of BLM that's on the rank and file side. Yo, I'm just trying to highlight these social issues. Hawk Newsom is a friend of mine. He runs the BLM chapter in one of the boroughs in New York.
Okay.
But they won't. That's the guy that, I don't know if y'all saw this footage a few years ago. There was a Trump rally, and there was a guy from BLM that got up there, and they gave him the mic, and they communicated, and it was a really beautiful moment. This is the same guy that they calling a terrorist right now.
Okay.
Right? With this being the case, no one's talking about during COVID, they fundraised to feed elders that, Meals on Wheels couldn't get to them. You know what I mean? They're not in alignment with breaking up the traditional family values and all that other good stuff. So what I'm sharing with people is insert anything, law enforcement officer, teacher, grassroots BLM member. There's the ability for people that's on the ground dealing with actual people, dealing with the real issues that are not in alignment with some made up mainstream, high level corporate sponsored bullshit. And that's what I think on the higher levels of BLM, what it is. But I think and I've been around the country 8 times at this point. There's a lot of people that say Black Lives Matter because they're tired of the destruction in the community from whether it's outside forces or internal forces. But those are not the voices that we're hearing when when media splashes it out there.
Yeah.
Media, if somebody puts on a Black Guns Matter t-shirt and shoots up a school, the media is going to say it was us.
Mm-hmm.
And that person ain't with us.
Right.
So I want to challenge everybody to be a little bit mindful. I know I went a little further in the answering of it.
No, I understand.
But,
let's hold on a second. Let me get this comment in because Andrew gave us some money here. I'm going to read his comment. He says, all lives matter. Stop being a whatever American and just be a free-loving American. Stop segregating yourself. IMO, love the show, different perspectives. So,
yeah.
Couple different things in there. And then Clovertac says, hey, Hank and Maj, chat peeps, y'all listen to Maj. Dude drops bombs all day and night. So,
So here's the thing to that. Y'all hear that? It's not a gun, YouTube.
Right. Okay. Listen, smash the thumbs ups out there. Smash the thumbs ups out there. Look, we could spend a lot of time talking on that. I think sometimes in life you just have to accept people's perspectives and what they think about things. This is the thing about language and all that kind of stuff, right? It's that complicated. I know there's people. I've always told Lola this. There's a hood in Brooklyn, somewhere in Philly. There's a hood. Okay, the people in that hood might look like me and you, Maj, but there's a hood in the country somewhere, and that's a different kind of hood, but it's still the hood. Yep. Might be, just all white dudes out there in the hood, but that's still the hood, and the cops are still, coming down on them, and there's still people who look down on them, and they still get persecuted, and all that kind of stuff. Life is perspective. We're not all living the same one. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. We don't all live at the same time, come in and out of the world at the same time. But if you're living in a 24-hour span, everyone has the same time.
Right. And and that's just perspective. So when people say things like, well, just be an American. Well, I am an American. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to. So let's say if I was Chinese American, right? Mm-hmm. No one's asking Chinese Americans to not say Chinese American. Mm-hmm. No one's asking Indian Americans that have a strong cultural or people from the continent of Africa, right?
Well, Lola doesn't see herself as African American. I don't either. Yeah, that's Lola doesn't. Yeah, so.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's an American thing, and I don't have a problem with it. I just don't put myself. I just see myself as a black guy. But yes, you're right. We could get to all kinds of things. Sometimes I say, "Hey, I'm from the Caribbean." That's who I was born in the Caribbean. I grew up with reggae music and
respect for your culture as a Caribbean American, right?
Yeah.
Respect for your culture and your lineage does not mean that you're negating your American president.
No, I'm proud. I'm like, from my point of view, you were born here in America, right? And
I'm American.
You've got to deal with it from that point of view. My family gave up things and traveled around and came here to America and struggled to stay here and be here. And I'm proud of it from that point of view, Right. And there's lots of us, man. And for me, all I'm trying to do is get everyone to understand that there's lots of us. And because I see this thing this way, it doesn't negate you or your existence.
Exactly. Just because I'm highlighting that I'm amazingly handsome doesn't mean that I'm calling somebody else ugly.
Right. So when you're saying melanated, you're not trying to say, hey, you're not trying to come. But here's the thing. Here's the question I want to ask you before we get away from this. Because you were talking about Black Lives Matter and how it's been co-opted. Rhonda Mary said the same thing yesterday. You guys can go back and look at that. And I completely understand that, and I think that's valid. So can we say that about other things in America? Can we say that about, the rebel flag, for example? Can we say it's been co-opted into this, or that it means this to someone or that to someone?
I think it's going to mean... So wait, how are you tying melanated?
No.
BLM is co-opted.
Yeah, we're there's lots of things that get co-opted, man. Lots of things get co-opted.
Yeah, the rainbow flag was co-opted by the gay community.
Yeah,
rainbows existed before gay people.
The Nazis co-opted the swastika.
It's an Adinkra symbol. So yes,
for my people.
Could say that. I remember a few years ago, Kanye West was trying to repurpose the Confederate flag. Mm-hmm. I think it was around the album when Black Skinhead came out.
Okay.
Some of his merch had the rebel flag on it, and he was like, "Yo, this is my flag now."
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. I mean, because like, look, there's some guys who say, "Hey, this flag means to me like, it means country. It means rebelling against these guys up north who want to tell us it doesn't mean slavery or I hate you or bigotry or whatever." And to some people, it does mean that.
Right.
Right.
You're going to have a hell of a job explaining your position when you walk around with the rebel flag. And that's a teachable moment if you want to have that conversation every time. If you're well versed in, hey, this flag originated at this time for these reasons. My reason for it is because I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi, or whatever, right? And if you want to make that a teachable moment, absolutely do it. Because you have to realize that when you wear that flag, based on the current understanding of it, generally, you're going to get what you get. So, for example, if I wear a shirt that says Black Guns Matter, my white followers ask me this all the time. Maj, is it cool for me to wear a Black Guns Matter shirt? I don't want people to think that I'm making fun of Black Lives Matter because I think it's an important
Who asked you
slogan.
that? Who asked you that?
My white followers.
Your white followers. Okay, my brain said, I'm a little dyslexic. My brain said my wife asked me that all the time. And I was like, wait, no. Was this a little Freudian slip? Right. I was like, yeah, let me go back here. I don't want to, I got to settle that.
When they ask me that, I tell them, absolutely you should wear that shirt. Absolutely you should. When people ask you, what's that about? Oh, there's a firearm safety organization called Black Guns Matter. This guy goes through, and it creates teachable moments. If you want to rep that flag, do it. If you white, you want to say nigga, do it. Deal with what comes with it and make it the teachable moment.
You're gonna learn one way or the other. Look, I think it's like it's like the "Make America Great Again" hats or whatever. There's people beating up people because they have that hat on. I don't know what do we. If you had that hat on and if you didn't have a gun, you don't really understand America. Yeah. But what I'm saying to you is like, why would we, if I see someone with a BLM shirt, I'm not like, oh, I don't, a lot of these things don't matter, right? A lot of these things don't matter. Has that person identified themselves to me? Sure. Good for you. It's like, this is a thing. A lot of people, like, I'm Guyanese, right? I was born in Guyana. We had this conversation. I am American. Right? I was born in Guyana. A lot of Guyanese people, a lot of Jamaicans, lots of people do this. They want to put like a Jamaican flag on their car or a Guyanese flag. I do not do that.
I don't put any bumper stickers on my car.
I don't put those like little stick figure people and the stick figure people with the guns or none of that stuff.
I don't have one. I'm not identifying myself unnecessarily.
Right.
I'm not putting one. I put my child goes to such and such school. Way to tell everybody what time you're probably not home. You know what I'm saying? Like an NRA sticker or a GO. I don't have nothing, no identifying marks on my vehicles at all. At all. And so if that person identifies themselves, cool. That's the thing about freedom. That person has the right to, I don't care if you're walking around with a Ku Klux Klan outfit. I don't give a shit. That's how you feel.
You're just flagging yourself to me like, hey, this is who you are. It's all good.
And listen, cool. That's who you are. Great. If someone wants to identify me because this shirt is a symbol.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
This guy's probably into guns. Yeah. I'm bigger than that. I'm into freedom.
Yeah, if they saw the ATF memo, then they know you're maybe a boog boy.
You know what I'm saying?
But there could be confusing messages. They don't know if that's just a joke to you. They don't know if that's real. We're just making assumptions.
That's it.
But that's what we do. We do that as people, though.
Until you have that conversation, your assumption is not proven. And now you might be 100% right. Knew he was a racist. And he's like, yeah, I hate you blacks. I was right. Cool. We move on. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be like, nah, man, I do think that America has the potential to be great again. Here's the reasons why. We have some bad things in our history. We have some great things in our history. Woo, 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 woo. And you go, oh, man, I had that guy pegged wrong. But you won't know that until the dialogue. So to your point, when somebody comes in hot talking about, we can't talk about that, I go, well, you're not open to You know, and you don't have to be. That's another beautiful thing. You don't have to be open.
Yeah.
Shit. Cool.
Yeah. Shout out to 13C Gun Reviews. He says that shirt is fire. By the way, 13C was supposed to be on tonight. We kind of bumped him to tomorrow, so you guys will see him tomorrow because Maj. And we need to get to this, man, because we already burnt an hour talking about I don't even know what.
Melanated beings.
Melanated beings, yeah. You know I'm going to make a clip out of that. Just look forward to that. People are going to be like, yo, Hank Strange made you explain what melanated beings is. And I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of people like, I was really wondering about that. I was really wondering, what is melanated? Is that like what exactly does it have to do with anything? So,
is it coffee?
All right, listen. Where I meant to have a serious conversation here with you, man, because I've been seeing the stuff that you're posting on social media. Your biggest thing is social media. I know you have like YouTube and all those kinds of things, but I think I'm going to say your biggest thing is either IG or Twitter. You know probably better than me. You're mostly like on Twitter, right?
Twitter and the gram. I mean, the gram is my main joint. Twitter's like my side piece. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's my mistress over there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Are they both equally melanated? No, I'm just kidding. Don't pay any attention to that. Okay, so I'm a comedian. In case you got, I want to be a comedian. That's my aspiration.
Yo, listen, me too. All right, this the last thing that we're gonna be real serious.
Right. Okay.
So Big John Hickok is like actually a stand-up comedian.
He is, yeah. He's been on the show. He's funny.
I went to a stand-up of the time before last. I was in Vegas. I went to one of his stand-ups with him.
Wait. He did a thing in Vegas. What, for SHOT Show?
Not for SHOT Show.
Like during SHOT Show?
Yeah, it was an open mic and we went to it. It was me, him. What's her name? The girl that Ava Flanell? Yeah.
Okay. Gun Funny.
We got like super, like we got hammered.
Okay.
But
sounds about right.
Stand up. He's hilarious. He has what I like about John is he has a dry humor.
Yeah.
I love
ironic.
Ironic
humor.
So
and this is going to be very racist, but white people do ironic humor very well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Like, for the lack of melanin is made up with. This is how nature works. Balances, checks and balances. The lack of the melanin makes you very ironically, humorously funny. It gives whatever. But Big John is funny, man. He's a funny dude.
He is.
And people don't get it because he's so big and he just looks like. No, there's no way this guy's funny.
He's scary. He looks like he's doing like Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, like a big biker dude.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's like actually hilarious.
Right. Yeah. They're both. I think just like Hickok, they're both really nice people. I don't know if everyone realizes that about them. Like really, they're not here. They're not here to fight or get all crazy with people. Just enjoy their life.
Here's the thing that I want to make known to everyone as I look down upon everyone, okay? I want everybody to know that I've been to the compound.
Oh.
I just want everybody to know that.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been. I've never been invited out there, so congratulations to you.
I want everyone to know
You are the first melanated being to land a spaceship on the Hickok 45. Okay, now I'm good. It's like, yeah, okay. I did see that, by the way. I did see that. Yeah. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. Lots of gun guys out there in the world are jealous of you. Black, white, everything in between that you were shooting out there with Hickok 45 and Big John.
So, no doubt. All right. So let's go to the serious question.
All right, serious stuff, though. Seriously here. So on IG, I think, and other places, we had a conversation. I put up a snippet of that on the main Hank Strange channel the other day. There's a lot of, it seems like you're kind of down, you want out of the gun world or the advocacy. I saw you posted something saying that in 2022, January of 2022, you're no longer a public citizen. What exactly is going on here?
I gave a lot of time to the work and you know, uh, so two things.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm super duper appreciative of all of the people that we've met, all of the beginners that we've put into the gun community and gun culture and the Second Amendment community. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to be clear about that. I've been damn near going nonstop for uh, about 5 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I've been traveling. I I haven't really had a chance to sit still in the last 4 or some odd years
Mm-hmm.
until COVID. I mean, and even then, I'm still moving around. But I remember last year or the last year and a half ago, I did like 50 cities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's only 52 weeks in a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's several things. The good part is I want to start growing food. I want to become, you know, for people that don't know, I was a vegetarian for years. I kind of want to start growing my own fruits and veggies and things of that nature. I want to get some land. I want to hit that yoga mat hard every day. You know, you start to feel like an absentee dad when you're on the road so much.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, man, I just want to start focusing on things that make me a lot of money because I need to buy land and build stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be involved in a few dispensaries.
How many
I
kids
wanna
do you have? Sorry to go back, just out of
So
curiosity.
I usually tell people, I say they're all. If you've seen them with me, they my kids. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say 10.
Okay.
That's a scary number to keep all of
Yeah,
the
but
women
these are
away.
human beings, regardless of like bloodlines or whatever
Yeah,
that you are responsible for. That's what
yeah,
matters to me. The other stuff
yeah.
doesn't really.
And
Yeah.
those are the things that I feel like some of the things that I feel like I'm neglecting.
Mm-hmm.
My ability to be a better like we don't generally a lot of Americans don't have a trade. Like most men can't build shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not disparaging women when I make that statement. I'm just speaking specifically from a male
Mm-hmm.
perspective for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I started learning. My guy Halo Arnold over at Halo Defense. He also has a contracting company. You know, and I started learning a little bit of stuff from him. I want to spend some more time learning that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to grow food, and I just think that you know I was going to do this in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
but we just kept going, and so many people kept learning, and so I
I mean,
started
the
to say
thing.
to myself,
I'm sorry. So go ahead. Go ahead. No, you said you started to say to yourself.
I just started to say to myself, like, okay, I think that I've been very instrumental in getting a lot of people into the gun community. I think that Black Guns Matter will be able to exist beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
We're setting chapters up, you know, across the country and things of that nature. I think there's a lot of new voices that need to be heard. I think Edgar Antillon
Mm-hmm.
from Guns for Everyone needs to be heard more. I
Mm-hmm.
think that what happens is because my presence and my charisma and all of these different things and my go get it, I think now at a certain point, it serves the community more for me to let other voices, not that I'm hindering their voice
Mm-hmm.
or they don't have their own voices. I'm saying that because I'm go so hard, go so hard, go so hard, and the way media goes, they'll start picking maybe one or two people, and um, other voices get stifled. It's like women in hip hop. It's
Mm-hmm.
like usually only one at a time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe two,
Yeah, there are only so
right?
many slots. I think is the way that to look at this. Even though it sounds like, hey, what's up with that? How can there be? But ultimately, I think in life, there's just so many positions or so much
Right.
time that people have out there to take things. The question when I first started hearing this from you, I was thinking like, what did the gun community somehow let you down? Did people not support
Oh,
you enough? Are you
absolutely.
not getting enough funding? Like,
Well, it's not that it's not enough. Let me be clear.
mm-hmm,
I could make $10 million selling weed lawfully.
mm-hmm,
I'm good at it. You
mm-hmm,
know, I have by traveling the country, I have tons of investors and connections and all that other type of stuff,
mm-hmm,
right? Um, but yes, the gun community has let us down because we chase the infighting is annoying. This isn't what's making me fall back.
mm-hmm,
I just want to kind of like build things. I look at Mike's Knockout Lights on Instagram. Mike's got a bunch of acres and he's got his own range. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that I would love to have. You know, but that takes time and resources. And I have the ability to generate resources, even if I still sold merch, right? I could concentrate totally on merch and make a few $1 million. The point is, then buying the land and then creating something, whatever. I've given of myself for so long that I just want to take a minute to kind of like give to myself and my family a little bit. But in regards to the community letting us down, we attack each other. We get behind, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's a gang of racism in this thing still, and bias. You know, as much as we say we want to be, we're diverse, and the Second Amendment is for everyone, and all that other type of stuff. As soon as somebody does something wrong, I'll give you a perfect example. There was just a negligent discharge in Stone Mountain, Georgia, a few weeks after that negligent discharge happened with Grandmaster Jay, right?
Okay. Was this one also related to NFAC or?
No,
okay.
Not at all. It was a white group.
Okay.
None of the white guys that was jumping on this dude for being an outspoken black dude, right? You didn't even hear about it. Same town.
Was there a video? Was it in the news?
There's video.
Okay.
There's video. There's fights. You know, so there's a
no one was sharing it.
Nobody shared it. Nobody made the same level
viral?
of videos.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's obviously layers, and everything isn't exactly the same between that Stone Mountain, Georgia, in fact, Stone Mountain, Georgia, whatever other white group, right? It's not exactly the same. So I'm gonna be clear there. But my point in saying that is the speed with which everybody rushed to attack this person. Some people attack me for even trying to be objective, for even saying like, "Yo, let me call the brother, let me ask him."
I think you did the right thing. This is a tough thing, right? Because we're getting back into the thing. So where maybe like people out there think when you say everyone, you're talking literally about everyone.
No. Yeah,
there's people who they go this way, they go that way. Everyone doesn't follow the same thing. But I know like when you came on, when you talked to him, people I think responded positively to that. And when you came on here and you talked about it to explain it to people, I think people took that positively as well. I know the NFAC guys didn't necessarily take it that way, but you know, I mean, ultimately, like I see what they do. Anything that goes out there that has NFAC on it, they get all over that. I don't know if they understand that they're helping gin that up by getting, trying to get at anyone there, and all becomes part of the machinery. But what you're saying here is something else happened like that, and the machinery didn't work the same way that it did.
And that speaks to a little level of bias that I want our brothers and sisters in the community, the gun community, to look at, to just evaluate. So it's still there, and I'm not saying that the people that didn't respond exactly the same, they're diehard Klan members and nothing like that. I'm not saying it that way. I'm just saying we got to check our inherent bias, and one of our biggest biases is we attack other people in our same community, in our same clique. So yeah, that's a bit of a letdown. I think that when I look at, we still, and I say we because I've been a victim of it too. I am a member of this community. We still are super hyped to get behind sensational, whether it's positive or negative. We get behind and give energy to very sensationalized moments. The ugly, consistent, behind the scenes, do the work, got to get beginners involved. There's not going to be any really cool sped up shooting videos. It's just going to be basics and getting new people on board. We do not support those efforts to the same extent as something sensationalized.
Yeah, it's not sexy. It's not sexy. It's not sexy, but it's very important work. When there's a lot of folks out there that are worried about what's happening with the Second Amendment and the erosion of the Second Amendment in America, when they look at minorities, they say, "Hey, you guys need to get more involved in this, right? Where guns are for everyone, it's regardless of your race, religion, sexual orientation." That's a cool, sexy thing to say. Is it a reality? And I think that people would like it to be a reality. I don't believe that people don't want it to be a reality. I think it's just not sexy work for everyone to get involved in that, and that's on the level like on the personal level of folks out there. That's on the corporate level of businesses in the industry. And I don't even know, even in the community. So, for example, for you, doing Black Guns Matter and training all these people out there, mostly people in inner cities, people of color, how much support did you get from even people of color?
So the vast majority of our donations to date, we've raised about 300, in about 2.5 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've raised about $338,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we gave away,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me show you the funny thing. And this is not to disparage or not any one of these examples that I'll give.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to show a comparative analysis.
Mm-hmm.
There was a law enforcement officer in Washington State, white dude, that I support what he did. He stood up against, following unconstitutional statutes.
Mm-hmm.
He got let go. Now,
Mm-hmm.
police union, he may get his job back.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. There was a GoFundMe effort for this man, and within 2 weeks, he had over $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he may get his job back. We don't know if he's going to still get his pension. We don't know these things. This is one guy, one cop now with $1 million GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
We have been consistently getting more and more people from the areas, the dangerous areas that everybody told me don't go to these places. They're anti-gun. That's why we need to be there the most, is my view.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, in hindsight, Black people are the largest buying gun demographic in the country now.
Mm-hmm. I think I've been seeing some news to that effect.
Right.
Right.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
A large chunk of that is because of us going for 2-3 years, going to these areas, repeating that same drum, beating that basic drum.
Mm-hmm.
We are at $338,000 that we've given away
Mm-hmm.
over 2.5 years of doing the GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
This guy gets fired, makes a video, makes $1 million in 2 weeks. Now, the law enforcement and Second Amendment community rally behind him as one individual,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Lawyer fees, whatever he's going to spend the money on.
Mm-hmm.
Him getting fired did not bring massive amounts of new people that were potentially going to be anti-gun into the pro-gun side of things.
Mm-hmm.
That is sexy and sensationalized. The work that we do is consistent and everyday.
Yeah.
And this is why I say, and don't get me wrong, for every single person that's donated $1, $5, $10, $5,000, I love and appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a comparative analysis of what we do in the Second Amendment community.
Right.
We say all of these things, we show up at the rallies, all that other good stuff, but we don't go to our city council meetings.
Mm-hmm.
We don't stay on top of them on a local political area. We don't, a lot of guys just send their money into their, national organization that they choose. What about on the state level?
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the things that I'm talking about when I say that's the part that is a little more disappointing.
Right. So just to I don't know if I got a complete answer on that. I think I understand exactly where you're coming from. What is the breakdown of over this time? Where has that money come from, if we could break it down? Where has the majority of that money come from? Has it come from the industry? Has it come from individuals?
No. The vast majority of our donations have come from people, just regular people that saw that, people definitely outside of the industry.
Okay.
Before I even say that, let me say to people that in the industry that have supported tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Huge shouts to Pete Brownell.
Okay.
Huge shouts to Pete Brownell. Huge shouts to Marty Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Defense. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, these guys, Marty Daniel gave us $5,000, you know what I'm saying? But it's $5,000 more than we had. Huge shouts to Gun Owners of America that we partnered up with to do, 10 classes around the country. Then
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still going to do that. Huge shouts to Firearms Policy Coalition. These are the bigger donations that come from organizations. And I stress to everyone, get behind these organizations that are getting behind the people doing the work, and not even just work with us.
Did
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Did GOA help out at all? Like, I don't know if you're affiliated with the GOA guys.
Gun Owners of America gave us $25,000 to do 10 cities.
Okay.
And I want everybody. I want 50, 60, 70, $100,000 worth of new memberships in the GOA for that move. Because they didn't have to.
Yeah. Also, they don't have a ton of money. I don't know if people know that. They're not like they're not. They're like a fraction of whatever the NRA is. Even though they've been getting a lot of support. Like, I'm a lifetime member of GOA. You know, I try to support them in whatever ways I can, but they don't get a lot of money. But most of that, so outside of those corporate things that came from those companies you mentioned, most of that was from people, you're saying?
Most of that's from regular, hardworking people.
Okay.
That was like, yo, I don't got much. Here's $40.
Yeah. If we had to break those people down, right? I'm not trying to come down on anyone. I just want to cover this. If we had to break those people down, what would be the ethnic backgrounds of those people? In your opinion, are you looking at that? Are you not looking at it? Do you have like a?
It's
rough
no
idea?
way to know.
Okay.
It's no way to know.
Do you feel like white people gave as much to that as black people, and like whoever you came across was like, hey, this is a good thing, we want to put in on this?
It's hard to gauge because one, GoFundMe is just a name, right? It's just the person's name and their email or whatever, right? It's hard for me to gauge because I get equal love. Like, so when I'm doing the classes are predominantly in black communities, right? Not limited to. But I get that love and support and that energy from them. I've seen it. I see when like I think I went to one in Atlanta with you, and a lot of people like, hey, you got to do this more. I think there are a lot of people who appreciate it. Right. When you're doing it. Okay. But it's equal when I go to if I do a class in Seattle's white world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's mostly going to be white people, and if it's same level of donations from people in those classes after the class, it's just very hard to gauge. But what I do know is we got more support and love. And shouts to, and I'm again, if I forgot. If you're a corporate person, if I forgot to name you, blame that on my memory, not my heart.
I'm not trying to shame anyone here. What I'm trying to do is take advantage of you being here and try to settle some of the things that like people, because I know that you don't feel uncomfortable about these conversations. Sometimes we got to like settle this by having people hear it from you. Right? Yeah. You did this like truly grassroots. There was no Soros or Bloomberg. Right. I know there's some dudes in the gun community with Soros and Bloomberg money or whatever. I guess that maybe there isn't.
That's another thing that I'm saying. If all of these, I can't wait to drop a bombshell that's coming pretty soon about somebody that just helped us out tremendously, right? So I, when the ink is all dry, I'll do.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that, to be perfectly honest, okay, let's take for example. Let's say if I know everybody, a lot of top tier people in the gun community. And a lot of those people say, Big John gave me $1,000. John gave us $2,000. John, I forgot to post it. John gave me $1,000 like last month sometime, and I just forgot to post it, right? John gave $1,000 before, right? So I'm not disparaging that, but what I am saying is, imagine if, because all of these guys, I know them, and they say, man, we love what you're doing. Forget money. Imagine if everybody in the gun community would have said, this, like they say to me, this guy is putting his money where his mouth is, and he's doing the work, right? This guy, we want to collectively organize for everybody in your following to repost the GoFundMe link for Maj, and then Guns for Everyone, and then the diversity shoot with Simon Says Train and all these across, like, whatever. Let's just, if we're isolating it to me, because I don't want to put words in any of those men or women's mouths. Imagine if they would have said, hey, y'all, let's get this to $1 million. Imagine how much more impact we could have made when everyone agrees that the gun control is in the areas where we go service the people. And then we can start turning those wheels. We'll get more hands on deck. We win more of those fights. But how many of these big name guys have done it? I'll name the people that have. You, Noir gave us to date $3,000 over time. Who else? Big John Hickok. Zeke, Big Zeke Stout,
Mm-hmm.
And the other people that I named. But imagine,
I'm not yet.
If,
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Imagine if people would have said, look, this guy's doing the work in areas that, let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to the places that I'm going and staying for extended stays to make sure that this information is available to the people for free. Nobody's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not happening right now on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Mm-hmm. And it's also not easy to do. So I don't know if that's like trying to knock anyone out there in the world, because I don't think it is. It's not an easy feat to accomplish. I don't,
Right.
Yeah.
And to the point where now we're seeing statistics, the data is reflecting, Black people in urban centers are the largest group of gun buyers in America.
Mm-hmm.
It took us 2.5, 3 years to get this. This is where we're at.
What percentage of that is maybe like Black people in America maybe feeling they're somewhat under threat? Can we get?
It's a lot of it.
Okay.
But the reality is,
mm-hmm.
under threat, you go to what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go to what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
We've taken the time. This COVID thing and the government overreach
mm-hmm.
has helped, because it's what we've been telling you. The government will leave you.
Mm-hmm.
The government will let criminals out. They have no obligation to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the Second Amendment is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we've been saying.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of my friends that are, that are Black people that aren't really thinking so much about training or making sure they have enough ammo and stuff like that, all of a sudden getting on point. This is just one of the things about the world, man. Sometimes you need these kind of things to scare you straight and make you think about stuff. But someone...
Now imagine this.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Imagine if for the last 3, 4, 5 years we wouldn't have been doing this work.
Mm-hmm.
They would have still been under the fence or kind of getting to being on the fence. They were on the fence when we were teaching them. When they were coming to our class in Atlanta, had 400 or 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
We already got them to the fence, and they were over. It just something happened, and they was like, okay, that's enough, and we got them.
Yeah.
Now, if they buy guns, now how hard is it to convince them, to show them that, hey, that guy that you thinking about voting for wants to make you not an outlaw because you have a gun.
You're teaching people to fish, man. You're teaching them to fish. Like, guns are the gateway drug to freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, imagine if all of the entire gun community would take for a month, every day, tweet it once. Hey, y'all, make a 60-second video and say, hey, y'all, this is good work. This person's been consistently doing the work. Get behind it. We would hit that $1 million mark. We could buy something outright. We could train and ship people in and train them consistently for free.
Mm-hmm.
For free.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it perpetuating. We could say, hey, Barnauls, do you guys want to do this section of such and such? We're going to sell your product here. Hey, such and such. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, we have, and I'm not saying that, again, it's just a gentle reminder because we all in the same boat. What I'm sharing with people is evaluate the things that you're putting your energy into.
Mm-hmm.
Are we just supporting or jumping on the sensationalized, oh, this guy did this wrong, his trigger discipline, da-da-da-da-da. They had airsoft vests on, they cosplay, da-da-da-da. We're giving all of that energy to that, but you got people out here, and again, I'm going to keep bringing up Edgar Antillon, because the Mexican gun community is underserved. Underserved. He's fighting the case over there, and I want y'all to look him up as well as go donate
in Colorado.
to his
In Colorado, we had him on the podcast.
Yeah,
I pulled out some snippets of that. He's fighting with a sheriff. If you guys want to look into that, where the sheriff is not, they're not endorsing, we want to say, or allowing their class that they give free to the community. They're not allowing that to count towards their CCW.
Right.
Yeah.
Edgar,
Yeah.
filed a lawsuit.
Yeah, there's a lawsuit and everything that got filed there.
Everybody watching this should go find out it's Guns for Everyone on Instagram. Go find out that GoFundMe page and donate towards it. Lawyers are not cheap.
Yeah, and I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that he's feeling some. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that you guys are feeling the same thing because I don't know, right? I'm not in your head, and I'm trying to figure that out. I did see him say that he feels like a lot of the spots in the gun community that are available have been taken up by the black dudes. Yeah.
He's right, and that's why we need more Mexican dudes and dudettes to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why when I say, "Yo, Edgar, come to this," I see it, and I go, oh, okay. You did the last time at SHOT Show, we did that panel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody sees how I put people together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a point guard. I want to dish the rock. I want to pass it to whoever can score so we can win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make that a consistent theme for us. We can't just say it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do it. Share your fucking platforms. There's absolutely no reason why every single person in the gun community shouldn't at least tweet out the GoFundMe link for Black Guns Matter.
Right. I think, and I would encourage everyone to do that. I think one of the problems that we're facing there, unfortunately, is that I don't want to say this for everyone. I think there's a lot of people that support me, support you. We're kind of like a closed ecosystem here. And then the level of like people who want to be in front of the cameras versus behind the scenes helping, it's kind of like going up, right? So now everyone wants to be in the game, which I understand. I believe in that, right? I'm truly an artist. And I think like every single human being on the face of the planet is potentially an artist, and everyone can express themselves. That's what social media is about. The problem is it's very tough when like everyone is trying to pitch something. Versus the folks, because then the people who are out there that are helping and sharing things, because I don't think everyone could do this on an equal level. Some people have $1, some people don't even have that dollar, right? Some people can help you by sharing stuff. Some people have 100, some have 1,000, some have 10, whatever it is. But as the level goes up of everyone trying to pursue this as a thing, because now I remember when I started doing this, people were like, "What are you talking about?" They had no respect for it. The funny thing about it is there's no money in it, like you're saying, right? There's no money in this thing. It costs a lot of money. It costs money to do this all the time, and it gets worse when everyone's trying to do it, and then therefore everyone is not trying to share and support other people's things versus like making sure their stuff gets out there. That gets difficult. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Because that way I can actually use the platform to say, hey, check out this person, this is about that. That's kind of like me trying to leverage karma, right? Like I believe if I want the universe to give me something, I need to like give 10 times whatever it is I want to receive.
Right.
So,
I think, and to your point, that's another reason why the short answer is, now that more people and voices are rising, I can back up.
Yeah.
It's okay. Now the next few people are not going to have as difficult a time to get corporate interests to get behind them. Right? They see the impact. We've shifted culture. We've made a bunch of hood people buy lawful firearms.
Yeah.
We're going to make it pop culture. Now it's okay. Now we got all these different diverse voices. I don't know where the Asian community is right now, but they're coming. Like, and I hate to say like, Chris Chang, but it's like
maybe they're just observing us right now to see what we're all doing or what's happening with us. For all we know, I agree with you. Yeah.
It becomes all right. Now more people are coming up. Now I know that there'll be people capable, women, men, LGBTQ, all of these people in the gun community that have representation. Now I could fall back and hit a yoga mat. You know what I'm saying? I could fall back and go make a quick $10-20 million. You know what I'm saying? I could fall back and learn more carpentry and electrical and get that dispensary popping. I could, grow fruits and veggies, and relax on and watch the sunset on a grateful universe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Let me get this comment out there. Ronald Hotboy gave us $5 here. He says, "So true, fellas. As a matter of fact, I didn't care about politics until I started watching Hank's channel." So, for better or worse, I take that.
Right.
I just want to make people think about the things that are involved in this. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I think when you're able to listen to lots of different points of view and stuff like that, you get more information in your brain. So maybe you don't like it the first time, maybe the next time you start processing it better, and then we can start feeding back to each other and figuring a lot of things out. Since you've been doing this, okay, in like outside of the gun world and the closed system that we're in, who has supported you? Like, have you been on Fox News? Have you done how much of those big things have you done? I think you have been on Fox News, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, like, what kind of things like that have supported you? Magazines, mainstream media. Have the rappers out there? Because I know there's a lot of rappers that believe in guns. There's a lot of athletes. Have any of those people?
My man Tone Trump has been supportive from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hip hop artist and actor. I'm in communicating. I'm actually going to be doing something with Royce 5'9" in Detroit.
Okay.
Pretty shortly here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, really guys from the same demographic, from the urban demographics.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to television station, Fox has been super supportive.
Okay.
Shouts to Tommy Lahren, because when she left from that old network, she was on The Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great interview over there.
Mm-hmm.
She got over to Fox. You know, a lot of people don't know this. For like over a year, we were going back and forth messaging. She was like, yo, Fox might be a little nervous right now, but I'm going to get them to do a special on you on a bigger platform.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last time we went to Compton, she was there and she recorded. You know what I'm saying? We did a series there. So shouts to her. The irony is, the black stations are seeming like they're afraid, even though I'm helping.
Have you been on the morning show, like the Breakfast Club or anything like that? Have you done any of that stuff? Been invited? Don't care to do it?
Nah, they scared. They not. If they do it, they'll probably do it after the election.
Okay.
If you give me that platform, I have the ability through charisma and intelligence and facts to sway the voting population.
Mm-hmm.
That black demographic that listens.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw.
Going libertarian.
Is it Angela? What's the name of there's a black woman that was formerly incarcerated. Huh? Stanton? Yeah, I think I saw Angela Stanton on there going toe to toe with those guys, and she pretty much mopped the floor with them. I think
she did.
I think they're probably scared you would just totally destroy them.
Absolutely, that's the homie. She's gonna be at the Solutionary Summit on September the 12th.
Mm-hmm. And
everybody that's listening should get a ticket to that. Come out to Atlanta, man.
Yeah.
We got Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. We got Van Lathan from used to be on TMZ. We got Derek Grace. We got Angela Stanton King. We got Antonio Okafor. We got Sonny Johnson. We got a whole ton of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got Troy Terrain. We got Judge Joe Brown.
Yeah, I think Kevin Dixie's going to be there.
Kevin Dixie, Kim from Perfectus Group.
Yeah.
Argo J.
Yeah, Argo J.
Toya.
Someone I know is getting left out of there, but that's okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think you got that one, but that's cool.
What?
No, I'm just messing with you. With you. I didn't hear Hank Strange. If you want to,
Yo, come to it.
I know. People were asking me about that. First of all, just to be clear, I don't even like going anywhere.
I know.
I don't even like going anywhere. But I know I could I could crash anything really if I wanted to.
Right.
And I could go wherever I wanted to go. Definitely if it has to do with you, I know I could go there. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The all-day event is $75 ticket. It's 2 panels.
Are there still tickets available?
Huh?
Are there still tickets available? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not sold out yet.
It's solutionarysummit.eventbrite.com.
Okay. All right. And they can go to your social media and link up with this as well. Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter.
If you follow me after this, whoever's watching, just message me. I'm very approachable. Just message me and I'll send you the link. Get a ticket. If you can't come to Atlanta on September the 12th, we believe in voluntarism. We believe in philanthropy. Yo, I couldn't go, but I bought a general admission ticket for somebody else, and I'll keep a list of, hey, I got 7 tickets to give away. We'll give them away that way. But this is a panel of basic firearm safety, as well as 2 other panels. There's libertarians there. Larry Sharp will be there. Libertarians, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, everybody, just people that are about solutions. And so these are other things that, we got people buying guns now. Now we got to do that political education component and make sure that they're voting in people locally that are in alignment with the Second Amendment. And these are the things that, now if this goes great, and I said on a live or something like that, I was like, I'll retract my statement of, because I don't believe it'll happen. I don't believe that we'll get the goal by the beginning of 2021, right? I don't believe it. I said, if we get to the $1 million by then, I'll eat my hat and I won't step away. I
Okay.
won't.
Oh, so wait a second. Let's clarify that. So you're saying if you are able to raise $1 million on this GoFundMe, then you're not going to step back right now, or you're not going to
I
step back a
can't.
year from now.
I couldn't because you got a whole nother extra,
So
$650,000. Like
yeah.
you got to do
So
more.
let me ask you this. We've got like probably less than half an hour. I don't know if you have to go like at a hard exit that you have to make, but I think this is a really important question, and I do I do really want to know about this. Why is it so difficult during this time when we've got like the highest gun sales, right? You said lots of people of color coming in and buying guns. There's lots of Democrats out there buying guns, right? Yeah. Lots of people that in your brain you would think these people don't believe in the Second Amendment. They don't believe in being armed, all that kind of stuff. I've seen Joe Rogan talking about this. You never were on Joe Rogan either, so we've got to figure that one out. We'll get to that here in a second. Let me ask you this question. Why, with all this money flowing through, is it difficult to get $1 million from the industry that we're all obviously supporting?
Because, again, it's not sexy. They see the impact in in sales. I don't sell guns.
Mm-hmm.
Companies do.
Mm-hmm.
So they see that impact. But I'm doing it because I want people to be on board with the Second Amendment.
Yeah, but
right?
You're asking them, right? You're asking these companies. You're approaching these companies, right? You're having these conversations. So you're not talking to them saying, hey, look, we need your support. You're not doing that?
The people that I have we've worked with is because there was some sort of, so take Marty Daniel, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl Todd introduced me to Marty Daniel a few years ago in Texas. And then we started to have the relationship. I chopped it up with him. I told him he donated, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not going to do, I'm never going to beg anybody for anything.
Okay, but if we're not asking, how are we going to receive?
No. I'm not saying, I said I'm not begging. I didn't say I'm not asking.
Okay, all right.
When the time is right, and when I've asked all over social media to get the $330,000 that we got now. Hey, donate it.
But I mean, but here's the thing: a lot of the people who run these companies, unless it's a small company, which obviously those companies I'm going to assume will be struggling and all that kind of stuff. A lot of the people that run these companies are not on social media.
So agreed, right? So when I do, and again, without giving away too much information.
Mm-hmm.
The solid people that I have asked about very specific things, they have been supportive. So I'm not necessarily talking about the corporate dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate dudes, people ask them for money all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about, so let's take again for example, guys in the community that's doing the work or doing some type of work.
Mm-hmm.
If we all collectively picked one group, not even BGM, and said these guys have, so for example, I think and I'm going to keep hammering his name. Edgar and what they're doing over there in Colorado, they've trained more people in Colorado than everybody, right? I don't know how much money's left on his GoFundMe. But I think that it was like $5,000 was the goal, something like that. That goal by the community should have been met in a day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm not saying it like, I'm just speaking to the concept of us getting behind the people that are giving years of their life as a collective group. If 1,000 people said, I'm going to go on Guns for Everyone's page, I'm going to donate $5. It's done. Yeah. In 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's you know what? It's weird, man. I was talking about this last night. The couple from the couple from St. Louis, the McCloskeys, the RNC invited those guys to speak at the RNC, and we had this discussion like there's a lot of people they can invite that we would see as more legitimately pro Second Amendment. Not that these are Americans, they got the rights, all that kind of stuff. But the RNC reached out to these guys and invited them, I'm assuming, to represent something, And even the industry, when this thing happened to them, the industry was offering up 50 guns to these guys, You know, I think that's kind of like the point that you're making. Like, how does that movement happen when you've been doing this for a long time, and this a similar movement's not happening, and it's a tough time to come up with $1 million. I mean, the industry doesn't even have to advertise right now. There was no SHOT Show this year. There's not. I mean, there was a SHOT Show this year. Let me get that straight. There was no NRA show. A lot of gun shows were canceled. There's probably not going to be a SHOT Show in next January, right? Even the IV 8888 event was, has been put off, right? So, come on, there's $1 million. There's $1 million out there,
and that's my point. So even let's take the McCluskeys at the RNC. The McCluskeys, I do not agree that their guns should have ever been taken. I also disagree with them flagging them and muzzling themselves and that group of people. The wife was 3 knuckles deep in that, I don't know, Ruger LC9. I don't know what she had. Either way, my point is, even the RNC that says they want more people, they're trash at reaching the urban demographic. You pick the couple that was waving guns at a group of black people, and then you're supposed to somehow want to attract more black people to the right or the Republican Party. It doesn't make sense while ignoring.
It only makes sense in terms of what you're talking about. Those people have garnered some notoriety, whether unjustly, justly so, we can, whatever, right? You know, it's like the cash me outside chick, right? I mean, come on.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah, right.
Flash in the pan.
Yeah.
The quick, moment of the thing, like ringtone rap. You know, and it's the same, and it's like, there we go again.
Yeah. So do you?
And then to me, when I go, okay, I'm gonna give it all I got for a year and a half. Now, if certain things, and these are quantifiable things, that if after this everybody said, you know what, I agree with Maj, and then next week everybody went boom, and then the other 700,000, I'll work even harder, because I'll go, well, they proved me wrong, and now now you've been called to task, now you got to go even quadruple time. I'm with that. However, again, I have room to say these things because no one can discredit my level of commitment to the work. It's impossible. If you say he wasn't doing the work, you sound foolish.
Well, I mean, at the same time, so who was it? I think it was Steve Bannon. We're probably not bringing up a lot of news things or whatever, so I'm not going to do that. But I think it was Steve Bannon was raising money for the wall, for Trump. And it came out today that they embezzled from the people, $25 million.
Meanwhile, Maj ain't even got a Bentley yet. Come on, man.
Okay,
like,
well, you know, that money's not for the Bentley. The money's not for the Bentley.
No, but what I'm
right.
saying is
right. But that's what they were using it for. They were embezzling that and using it for it. And I agree with you, man. It's obvious. No one can deny this. It's obvious that you have trained, that you've done these classes, you've helped people, you've stood up there and you fought for this. I'm disappointed that, you know, I'll be honest with you. I was under the understanding that this was working a lot better for you, right? And this is why sometimes we have to say stuff to people.
Let me be clear, because it's not that it's not working bad. I'm not thumbing my nose at $300,000 in donations. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we as a collective organization should be doing more, and we have to evaluate the people that I'm highlighting, the people that I say. Like when I keep bringing up Edgar, there's a reason. It's not because he's Mexican. It's because he has been putting work in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think you're trying to get to anyone like that. I just think, like, what's going on? How come we haven't taken this to, you know, how come we haven't kicked this up to a higher level? There's a lot more stuff that we should have done here, you know? I forgot exactly who it was I was talking about. I don't know if she's from Philly. But we were talking to there's a black woman that's in the DC project. Lola's going to know. I apologize. Rhonda Izell, right? Chicago, right. So, you know, she's fighting for that stuff in Chicago. And she's like, all this time, she's won court battles, everything. She can't get a range up in Chicago. Like there's no reason that you shouldn't have a range in Philly and a permanent location that you could do what you're doing. It's the only reason it's not happening is that we're not there's not a serious effort to make it happen. But the money is out there. We're all buying guns. This money's out there. You're out there for sure. What is the reason? Like, so when I put up the snippet from us talking about you, there were people that said, well, I really like Maj. I like how he's real and raw and everything like that. But at the same time, that's probably one of the issues. Do you think that's an issue when it comes to the corporate gun world in America?
No,
Okay.
President Trump is the president of the United States of America. There's no more brash and raw and say whatever and tweet whatever you want. America loves that. America loves that. That's part of the allure that people like about me. It's like, obviously I'm articulate. I can speak well, all that other good shit. But I think people like the fact that I'm interactive, and I'm gonna say, like, nah, man, I disagree with that. I'm gonna make fun. I'm gonna go, hey, y'all. I can't show a gun, but I can make some noise and everyone knows. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're humans, and we're not going to get everything perfect. And I think people know, yeah, man, I would have a beer with that guy. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, I don't think it's that. I actually think the corporate guys that have gotten behind it is because they're like, man, you say some of the stuff that I wish I could say in my corporate position, but I can't. I want to get behind what you're doing. So, no, I don't think it's that.
So you don't think there's anyone intimidated to put the brand name of their company behind you? I think we all look, there's all kinds of stuff that always goes around. When I started doing this, still now people tell me if you cut your hair like this, if you talk, I don't know what if you talk like this means, because this is how I talk. Right. So I was like, what do you mean if I talk a certain way? Do I need to get more ghetto? Like, what exactly do I need to do? This is how I talk. No. So like if it's my mohawk, like I don't understand what what haircut am I gonna get while I'm walking around and seeing dudes with big beards and it's a weird.
It's not that. It's not that they're not associated. Even if they did, they could do it anonymously. It's not that they are afraid of the association. It's no different than I talked to Matt Schlapp from and Dan Schneider from CPAC. They run CPAC. And I take the main stage at CPAC for the last 2 years in a row. They like that I'm who I am with similar principles. I'm conservative in some areres, right? So it's not.
So how come? So has the RNC reached out to you? Look, I'm not trying. I don't give a crap about any of these people. I've had my own dealings with the Republican Party and all that kind of stuff. But have they reached out to you to try to support you or whatever? I mean, because you're more conservative leaning than the McCloskeys.
Right. They haven't.
Okay.
And see, and maybe it's for them. It's like, well, he's not a Republican. He's a libertarian.
So
you know what I mean? It could be that.
What are those guys?
Right. So what? Exactly.
What are those guys registered at?
Exactly. And look, here's the funny thing. The Libertarian Party, like, for example, American Conservative Union knows I'm a libertarian, but they like, he has conservative principles and he's translated. American Conservative Union is doing what they're supposed to do. CPAC is doing what they're supposed to do. I just did CPAC Wisconsin last week. My point in saying this, I don't think it's the corporate dudes that are, afraid per se. I think it's us as a Second Amendment community are not picking the people and going, hey, y'all, we're going to all support this person right now. We do that when it's something that catches on viral. And it's a sexy, sensational thing. But the sexy, sensational thing may not actually build the community the way that we need to build it. And it's just time for us to step up in that regard. Again, for me, if one donor, anonymous donor goes, bam, here's the rest. Cool, I was wrong, and I'm gonna work harder. I'm going to continue to do more. I think that we as a community have to do more. And that is the portion of disappointment. But my actual reason for wanting to take this time is I've given of myself for years at this point. And I know that if I would have put the same time in the opening dispensaries, I'd have $20 million by now. So maybe I take a year or two, fall back, get $5 or $10 million, then start erecting stuff that's, Second Amendment. I did the collective thing. I'll do the individual thing. Then maybe I'll go back to the collective thing. And all of that changes. Again, I'm saying this. If we hit that number before the January 1st, 2021, I'll go absolutely.
So how can let's deal with like what, like the world of what I can control obviously is limited, right? So what is it that we could do here, right? Can we somehow help? Are there people that we need to talk to, hit them up on Twitter or this thing or that thing? Companies, people, like I mentioned Joe Rogan. You haven't been on Joe Rogan. I don't think it's like any kind of weird thing. I think maybe you just haven't come across Rogan's radar, I don't know if you're even interested in that. To me personally, it would be interesting.
I'm on Rogan's radar. Hotep Jesus, who's been on there.
Yeah, I saw Hotep on there. It was a pretty good show.
He DM'd me. He showed me the DM saying, "Yo, you should have Maj on." No response. Okay. Everybody, and I know he hates it on Twitter, but everybody's told him like, "Yo, you should have Maj on. You should have Maj on. You should have Maj on." It's nothing there
So
yet.
what do you think's the reason that Rogan's not getting up on it? I mean, he's had Noir on a couple of times, and it was great shows also.
No idea.
Yeah.
Same reason why the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne said he wanted to do it after I did Van Lathan's podcast.
Yeah. How does it even work getting on Rogan? Like, do you have to be out there? Does he have to? I'm assuming obviously he has to invite you and want to talk to you. But can you like just hit him up and say, "Hey, I'm coming through"? I have no idea how that works.
And so the people that I know that have been on there were either invited, or they just filled out the thing. I actually don't know how Hotep got on there. I have no idea.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, I told Rogan," even before I asked, I was like, "Yo, can you plug me?" He was like, "Yo, he sent me the DM." He was like, "Yeah, I sent it to him." He was like, "I don't really know." In time, it'll come, and if not, I will go buy some land, grow some fruits and vegetables, hit a yoga mat,
right.
And just or maybe here's the other part. Here's the other part. Now, this is where I'm gonna be critical of me. Maybe you haven't done enough yet, Maj. Maybe you gotta go harder. Maybe I gotta be more extreme. Maybe this balanced approach that I've been taking to things, maybe I gotta get more Hollywood with it. Maybe I gotta,
maybe you have to drop a sex tape, threaten to go up on the rooftops or some insanity. Look, I agree with you, man. I'm not asking you all of these questions because I actually, in a lot of ways, agree with you. I feel like how you feel sometimes, and I'm like, you know what? There's probably a time when I've got to drop this and actually try to get out there and do what I need to do to financially take care of my family versus putting this much energy into something that the truth of it is I put all of this energy in, and then someone, like I remember the guy who faked that the cops are coming to take all his guns and everything, and he's like, "Oh, you got to help me, they're coming to get my stuff." Meanwhile, he was beating up his woman or whatever, right? There's just things like that happen, and everyone responds to that, and everyone shares that and jumps all over that, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that, and it makes you think, so you got to be crazy? You really have to be crazy in order to, to get people to triggered enough to do this thing, to kick this thing off? And for me, I know I don't want to do that. I would rather, like you're saying, man, I would rather just go live my life, because anything that people think I'm doing now, I would do 10 times more than that just out there on my own. I have no interest. I wouldn't even be on social media. I have no interest in people being all up in my stuff or anything like that. I really don't care for it.
Listen, man, maybe I gotta go have a negligent discharge in the ground somewhere, and then 100,000 more people will show up. It's like we just be chasing a lot of the dumb shit as opposed to the construction.
But it somehow diminishes you. This is the reason why I'm not doing anything like that. Right. I feel like it diminishes me to be that person, to be so thirsty that I'm gonna try to fake something.
Right.
Listen,
I'm way too cool and like wise to be thirsty.
Yeah.
Like that's just dumb. But it speaks to it speaks to where we are. Now some people could say we're dumb because we don't want to be thirsty. Man, all you had to do, if I went hardcore right or hardcore left, right? If I went, I'm getting guns because black people, white people hate us, and that was my whole spiel, I would blow up on the left. If I went, if I went like MAGA, Republican Party can do no wrong. I would, on that side. But that's actually not what America needs. America actually needs balance.
Yeah. Listen, I want people to be who they are, man. I'm not trying to... I think there's a lot of people out there that when people are cheerleading their particular thing, and I'm not trying... Look, there's probably folks out there doing that, and it's all fake. But probably most of those people doing that, that's really the way they see everything, right? For me personally, I see things in a very balanced way. I know I say a lot of stuff other people don't agree with, whatever, right? I'm not out here making plans of, I'm only going to say this because then everyone's going to get behind me. No, because I'll tell you something. Even when I say what I genuinely feel and those people agree with it, they're still not going to do that.
Right.
So ultimately, I'm just going to be me. That's the most important thing for me in a lot of this. I don't want to feel like I somehow sold out myself, and I don't want to force myself to be on all the time, and then I'm out here living a fake life and I've got to start taking drugs. I'm not even, it doesn't even float my boat or anything like that, not knocking anyone for anything. I get high off of just being me, like having conversations with people and hearing different ideas and telling people my ideas. So I don't know, man, other than like, before I do that, I will just go, yeah, you know what? I did what I did, like you're saying. I did what I did. I could go off now, just live my life. It's all good. Because to me, even if I never make any kind of money, I don't even really care. As long as I can have what I want, that's all I care about.
Thanos on the planet, growing his own food and just chilling in this little cabin was a very powerful message to me. He did what he came to do. You know what I'm saying? And these guys couldn't, like you said, you couldn't deal with your own failure. And where'd it bring you? Back to me. He was chilling on that planet, just eating fruits and veggies after he had half the population of the universe is gone.
Yeah, it wasn't about sitting on a throne.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the other part. I think a part of the reason why we made so much progress is because I never wanted a throne. I never wanted these slots, these spots. I don't care about that. Like, that means absolutely nothing to me. If I did, I would have jumped at certain opportunities that were given to me that were outside of my principles. So it was never about that. It was actually about passing the ball. I want to get good at dishing the rock and bringing other people and helping them see the floor the way I see the floor. And I think we've done a good job of that. And I would love to keep going. It has to make sense though. And just, I believe I've earned the right to, take more paramedics classes, to take the time to...
Those are good things. If you're going to go do some... Now, are you actually going to be a contractor and go overseas? And because, dudes are going to recognize you.
No, I'm going to... No, I like to learn some of that work, but But like... And just, the biggest thing for me, growing my own... food and vegetables.
Where do you want to do this? Where do you want to do this? I think this is an important question.
I want to go somewhere where it's warm all year round. Probably somewhere in the South.
Okay, Florida. Florida is open.
Alabama, Florida.
I would petition for Florida, man. You could get some land in my hood.
What's the land cheap down there?
It's so when I bought it, it wasn't. Now it is. It is pretty much. I mean, listen. I live out in the country. I live in a mobile home, man. So my taxes and everything are low. I have like 6 acres, but it's quiet. No one bothers me. When I'm shooting it up in the backyard, sometimes they call the cops on me. They know me. My sheriffs know me and stuff like that. Actually, it's a small town and everyone knows me, even though I don't want anyone to know me, but I think for the most part, people look out for each other. They know who are just good people and who are not. But so there's a lot of places, right? I don't want to try to push you in one direction or the other.
I'm partial to Florida. I love Florida. I'm partial to, listen, Utah, but Utah get cold as shit.
Yeah, man. There's no. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing I was gonna say to you. It's not. You know, even
Utah,
Arizona could get cold at night in the winter for
nighttime.
Arizona. So
Yeah.
yeah, Florida. Like I live in the northern part of Florida, so in the wintertime it's really nice. The coldest it gets for about a few hours is about 32 degrees.
Yeah.
You know.
See,
so,
I like that.
yeah.
Alabama, places, you know. But we'll see. Because now that I'm saying it, you know how they say, like, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Right.
Like, now that I'm like, yeah, 2022, then some anonymous donor will be like, yeah, keep fucking working. Shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or something will happen. And I'm not mad at it. I just know that, you know, as the questions are asked, which are great questions, here's my disappointment and here's my reasoning.
Yeah, let me get this comments from Military Arms Channel. Good guy, by the way. And I always tell people this. He's done a lot of stuff to help me in my, you know, in doing all this kind of stuff. But you know Mac, right? Military Arms Channel.
Yeah.
He says, good plan, man. There's nothing like living out in the middle of nowhere. To us, our nowhere is home, and it's amazing. We live off our own land, have well, water, a massive garden, deer. You know, you can, and it's true, man. It's true. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, but he says.
No, that's for me.
He says, "Let the big cities burn. Get to the country." You know, that's what he says. Anywhere you go, you're gonna be welcome. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who appreciate you. Like, I've sat next to you and seen a lot of people coming up to you and like, hey, man, I appreciate what you do and all that kind of stuff. You know that you're appreciated, right?
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And again, I want people to know, like, this ain't me, like, mad at people or nothing like that. It's just like, yo, man, to be able to, like, I want to be able to go outside. Mm-hmm. My man Phil from this rock group called All That Remains. Mm-hmm. He lives in New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. He can pull his SBR out from his porch and shoot. Mm-hmm. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, I want to be able to have acres where I could just imagine this. You wake up in the morning, you drink some coffee, you have some tea, you have some eggs and some spinach that you grew, and then you can just shoot. Like,
that's how God meant it to be, man. Max says it's as close to freedom as we could have. And he says you'll also be welcome. He says I know Indiana is too cold, but you're welcome for sure.
Yeah, Indiana cold.
Yeah, it gets cold.
They got some good RV prices in Indiana, though.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Well, that's where they build them in Indiana. I don't know if you know that. RVs are built in Indiana. But I don't know if you've ever stopped through. You should stop through, do some stuff with Military Arms Channel.
I should do that.
Yeah.
The last time we saw each other, it was shot, matter of fact. His last shot.
Yeah. I'm planning on doing it. He says I need the 4 seasons, nothing like a cold winter morning, sitting in a blind waiting to harvest a deer. It's true.
See?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where my mind is going. And then to be able to have enough land where we could say, yo, we bringing such and such out. Whoever want to come learn, come learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that, like, that part of it isn't, you know, that's more of my want to kind of go that direction, more so than, because I'm not really frustrated with the community. I can just see the areas where I'm like, come on, guys, we can tighten up a little bit here. So it's not a frustration. It's just like.
By the way, Max says we could stay at the house. I'm putting myself into this now. He says we have the room. He's saying it to you. I don't know if he's saying it to me, but I'm gonna insert myself. I'm going to insert myself in that. Shout out to Scorched Earth Firearms. I know we're hitting 9 o'clock here. There's something, I don't even think Lola knows about this. So, there's like 2 guns that Standard Manufacturing gave me. The SKO and the SKO Mini. These are shotguns, magazine fed, right? Those 2 guns together are probably like, I don't know, close to $2,000. But they gave them to me. They also branded them with the Hank Strange logo on them. I was gonna give one of them away. Because, you know, like I hit 100,000 subscribers and all that on the channel. I was going to give one away. I was going to, like, keep the other one. But you know what, man? I'll offer that to Black Guns Matter. If you guys want that, just let us know where to ship it. We'll send them to you. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You could raise money. You could do whatever. How, you know, that's just...
So let's do it this way. Let's do an auction. and whoever bids the highest, you take half of it, and I'll put half towards BGM.
No, man, I want all of it to go to you. That's what I'm telling you. This is my don't feel like weird about it. This is like what I believe
Don't
in
make
life.
it awkward.
No, I just believe this in life. Like, you know, you have to give, you know, when you feel that, you know, you feel the universe moving you to give, and you should do it without, I don't expect anything in return. I didn't talk to Lola about that. Whoever's planning it, like I told these folks, hey, we'll give it away through the like our email list and all that. But what I was thinking about it today, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna offer this to Maj. You guys could do whatever you want to do with it. Raise whatever money. It's got Hank Strange on it. You know, we've shot them a little bit. There's some videos out there, so it's like a little bit famous, I guess. I don't know, but you know, I'll be happy to give that to you and help out with Black Guns Matter. And I hope that like inspires other folks out there to help you out somehow.
Hell yeah, I love that. And then, so let's do that. And then I'll still auction it. And then I'll just put all the proceeds to the work.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hope that does something before we go. Lola's coming in here. She's looking.
It's Lola. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, we did some stuff with it. So here's the thing. Before we get out of here, what out there, like what can the folks out there do? This is what I want to get from you. Like, how can the folks out there, we've talked about a lot of things, for the folks listening to us, what can they do to help you out the most? Like, so what's the GoFundMe, first of all?
So the GoFundMe is gofundme.com/Black Guns Matter.
Okay, so if someone searches Black Guns Matter, does the GoFundMe come up?
Yeah, it'll come up, but there's a bunch of knockoff T-shirts and all of that too. Just if you type in Black Guns Matter, it'll show.
Is it from July 2016? Is it that one?
Yeah. GoFundMe.com /
I'm just showing it here on the screen while people are looking. So you've raised $343,216, and what you want to do is get this to $1 million, right?
Yeah, and I want to explain to people that $1 million, that $343,000, we've already given away over the last few years between classes, handouts, paying for people's just we gave it away. Yeah. Right?
So the way for everyone to know you're at the right one, the picture has like Mad Maj or something. He looks skinny. He looks hungry.
Yeah, it's super young Maj.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that the remaining amount, we want to get a building. We want to we're going to make sure that we want to get more people to be from urban demographics to be FFLs. As people are going through the process of FFL, we want to pay all of their fees. We want to deal with it from that perspective, and then we want to obviously continue to do the tour all around the areas of the country that need the work the most. So that's one way to help.
Miss K wants to know what's your YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, youtube.com / Black Guns Matter. Okay,
all right, there you go. Go ahead. Sorry I interrupted you.
If you can't donate to that directly, man, tweet it out a few times, post it, make a 60-second video just saying, hey, this is important. This is some good work. Please support it. That travels more so sometimes than just at like $20. And don't get me wrong, if $10 is all you got, cool. We appreciate all of that because we're going to give it away. If it's one of you like rich women or rich dudes, like really wealthy, that like $700,000 won't put a dent in your thing, hey man, donate it. What do you call it?
Anonymously.
Anonymously.
Yeah.
You know, that will help out a lot because then we can speed the wheels up of buying a location. The location is for people to come learn for free. I'm talking about every day, all day in the hood. You know, you can come learn. You can deal with conflict resolution. We're going to do civics classes. This needs to happen. All of the things that the radical leftists are trying to devour and destroy in this demographic, we want to have a location where you can come learn those things.
Okay.
Civics, family structure, political education, conflict resolution, de-escalation, and firearms safety.
Can I ask you this? And this is a crazy thing that just came to my mind. You know how there's some like charitable organizations out there that you could give your boat, you could give your car to, or whatever. Yeah. I don't know if people could do that with you. Can you guys do something where people can give you guns?
So
is that like a
So someone could give me a gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'll pick it up for my FFL, boop,
Right.
boop, boop. I can then in turn auction it
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So I can't.
So like what we're talking about is good. That could be done.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That can be done.
Okay.
And then in essence would, basically like go, hey, let's auction this off.
Mm-hmm.
And then, use the funds to that. But yeah, if anybody,
because the organization can't receive that, right? Obviously, they can't get background checked or whatever.
So my LLC can, but my nonprofit cannot.
Okay, all right, understood. Okay, yeah.
Um,
Because I'm just trying to find like what's alternatives, what's other ways that folks can help you. Let's say, because I know there's a lot of good folks out there, and they don't necessarily have the pockets. I'll be honest with that, So what are the things that those guys can do that will help you out?
Promote the work that we're doing. Give us follows, give us reposts. I'm shadow banned, so retweets, reposts, just being consistently doing it. If you're saying, look, Maj, for the next month, once a day, I'm gonna tweet out your link and I'm gonna do a 60-second video or something. I know it sounds like it may not be much, but you'd be surprised how this thing spreads, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest thing, man. Just spreading the message.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of our work, making it easier for our work is taking someone that is a beginner and a newbie, take them to the range.
Mm-hmm.
Take them to the range, indoor, outdoor. Just get people involved in the Second Amendment community, so you become an extension of the work that we're doing at Black Guns Matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. But donate, repost, repost videos, and again, get with your state organizations.
Yeah, Betty Jo Lynn wants to know. She said, or she has a statement and a question. She says, "Feeling out of place. Is Black Guns Matters just for African Americans?"
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's black guns. Black guns.
So this is another question that
right.
Like I remember some.
I mean, it's a valid thing. I can see how people feel that way. Yeah.
And I would be like, so what would I do? Like stand at the front door, like, you're not melanated enough. Like you can't come in. Like no, this is for everyone. We just have a concentration in urban centers because that's where the gun control and the unconstitutional stuff and the negligence and the ignorance is most rampant.
Mm-hmm.
But no, absolutely. If you white and you cool and you about the Second Amendment or you trying to learn, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And so Scooter, Scooter Trash Tactical said he shared the GoFundMe on his Facebook page. Derek Rogers says he loves the Military Arms channel. I agree with that. All right. So, are there anything else that folks out there could do before we get out of here? To help out the cause here, or what else? What do you want the people to know out there before we?
I just want everybody to know, man, that I'm not frustrated or angry at our gun community. My objective, honesty, is what makes me say things like, I think we are still attached too much to sexy more than symbolism more than substance. But that's not a knock, and that's not to disparage or be rude to anyone that has supported or bought some merch or something like that. So that's the first thing, and the other thing is I'm just challenging everybody. Like I'm going to be fine. I'm gonna sell weed. Like they're like I'm good at that.
Obviously you got this plan, Dad. You got this plan. Yeah. I get it. Right.
So I just want people to know that I just want to take, if it comes to that in 2022, it's just me taking a moment to kind of like work on more man shit. I believe that men, that shit that Tim said, fucking growing your own food on your own garden and catching a buck.
It's true. It's true. And think about this, like I think I'm guilty of this. If people really think that they're ready for everything to go there, and you don't know how to catch your own food and grow your own food and make things and build things or fix things, then you're not prepared. So you might want to take some time and get prepared.
Right, and that's pretty much it in that regard. But again, I felt this way in 2020. We got more traction. It was more work to be done, so I put it on the back burner. 700, 650,000, whatever that number boils out to now, is a bigger number than it was then. So I just want people to know that I'm truly appreciative and humble for all of the support that we've gotten. I am challenging everybody for us to, not even just for BGM, but for everybody. You should be, Military Arms channel, the Hank Strange channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of these people, you should be making these groups of people that give you so much information. You should make it in your daily rotation to tweet out a video, to share a video, to talk about the video, to put people onto it. That's how we expand the community. And so I am challenging people in that regard, but I don't want people to think like I'm mad at everybody and I'm like, man, like.
Well, you
like
know something? I mean, I'm going to tell you this, man. I think that a lot of times when you're the kind of person who does a lot for other people, you know, other people automatically assume that you don't need anything.
Yeah.
This kind of happens, right? So me, I believe in being deliberate. And you know, when I look at these things, I look at it and I see like you spend a lot of time doing stuff for people. I'm not saying you don't take care of yourself. You know, obviously you take time getting in the gym, you know, doing all those kinds of things. But I think that people look at it and probably think you don't need anything. And we all have to take that time in the day to look around and see who's doing stuff for us and ask ourselves like, hey, do they need something? You know, do I need to do? Sometimes I try to like get Lola a drink, you know, because I'm like, hey, woman, get me a drink, you know. But so I try to be deliberate, like, hey, let me do something for Lola. Let me rub her feet or whatever. We need to be deliberate about that. We can't assume the people that are doing so much for us. And you're right, man. There's a lot of people doing so much for all of us, right? For me and you. There's people doing things, and we have to try to like take that time to say, dude, are you okay? Can I do something for you? You know, or just do something for them, because that's the kind of stuff that keeps the world going around, in my opinion. So regardless of what you do, man, I hope that you get that money and you keep this going. If you don't and you want to go in this direction, we're still going to be boys. You know, we'll still be doing things. I'll still be checking up on you. Either way that it goes, you know, it's like the way that it's supposed to go. But we have to just make sure that we're checking up on each other and doing things. So that's like what a lot of this is about, like actually, you know, having this conversation with you. And I wanted to have it like one-on-one. I know there's a bunch of things going on in the gun world and, you know, or just in general, and we didn't talk about it. But, you know, sometimes you got to check up on your people.
Right. Got to check on your strong homies, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because those are the people who we all miss out, you know. We all miss out on that. You know, it happens a lot of times with our mothers, our wives, and all that kind of stuff. Like I said with Lola, that she's doing everything for everyone, and people just think, oh, she's got to be a superhero or something, you know. And that person may need something too. So I feel that way about you, that you do a lot of things for folks out there, and maybe you make it look to people like, hey, everything is all 100% good, so they don't have to do anything for you. The reality is we have to be deliberate and make sure that we're doing things for each other.
No doubt. 100%.
Okay, so dude, I'm going to let you get the last words in here, and then we'll get out and let everyone go about their business, especially you. I'm sure you got plans.
Yeah. Everybody, GoFundMe.com/Black Guns Matter. Share this video. You should be hitting the like button. You should be subscribed to this channel. You should be finding people that are doing hard work in the areas that you know are important, and you should be supporting them financially, shares, energetically, like Hank just said, just being deliberate in your intention to sending them some good vibes. I want to shout to, I forget the name of the organization, but there's 22 veterans that commit suicide daily. You know what I'm saying? So
this is the organization that Rob Pincus and what's his name? The oh man, I can't believe now I'm forgetting it. Is it Contagious?
It's not that. You saw.
Is it Walk the Talk?
America.
Oh, it's not. Okay, not Walk
that
the Talk. Okay.
That's a good organization too.
Right. Okay.
But it's called 22. Fuck, I forgot about it. But anyway, I want everybody in the middle of all of this, you know, housing and COVID and you know, veterans. I want us to remember our vets. I want us to remember, you know, that local government, especially your left-leaning government, has kind of abandoned you during this time. And I want you to, when things go back to normal a little bit, I want you to not forget that. I want you to remember that you're responsible, you know, for your own defense, and don't outsource that to somebody else that can potentially leave when they feel like it. So,
amen.
Vote in that direction. Make sure that you remembering that, support the people that's doing the work, and make sure that you're subscribing to these types of channels. YouTube on some bullshit, and they're trying to make. I can't even show no guns. I got like 6 guns right here. I can't even show them.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen at some point, man. Or you come down if you're ever in the northern part of Florida, man. I'm just outside of Gainesville. You want to come do some stuff, make plans, come out and shoot with us, man. We've probably got some machine guns you might not have shot yet. Not me personally, but I have connections and stuff like that. You know, we can do some things, hang out, talk, shoot guns. You know, and hang out. So thanks so much for doing this, Maj, taking the time. I appreciate you not driving around with the call going out and all those kinds of things. I appreciate you taking the time and like sitting still for about 2 hours. Thanks so much to everyone out there. I really appreciate you guys, all you folks out there. Big thanks to Harry's Holsters for sponsoring the podcast here. I'm going to hit the end. Stay right there, Maj. Okay, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to be notified whenever we go live. Of course, we're going to rip the audio out from this and put it up on iTunes and all your other favorite places that you get your audio podcasts from. We're internationally known and locally accepted. We are out of here. See ya. Peace.
Peace.